this.
Have you ever woken up and know you smell bad? And you look bad, but you just don't feel like doing anything about it? Today is one of those days. So what's going on, guys? Let's talk about a topic which I wanted to discuss for a while, but I haven't really gotten around to it. You know what I'm saying? Now before you freak out, because I know you will, but let's say what it is, because you already read the title. Can dragon rulers come back?
No, God!
Now I know what you're thinking. That's impossible. Well, yeah, it probably isn't going to happen. But if it did come back, how much of an impact would it really have on the game right now? Now, granted, Dragon Rulers are very powerful cards. And honestly, somebody could correct me here, and it's been a minute. I don't entirely recall why the last 4 single monsters got banned. Because, there was bans and throwouts from it constantly for a while. But then for a good little bit, it was just, the Dragon Ruler of each element. Fire, Wind, all that, Blaster, you had... title. I don't even remember all the names now. But he had one for each, and they all played in different things. Like, people would play the Wind one in Harpies, and then they would play, the Blue one in Mermails, and Blaster was played in things. And it was a good card because you could, if it worked with your archetype, you could banish it out. But if I recall, I'm pretty sure the reason why it finally got banned, I could be wrong, is because them being used in Lightsworn rulers, because Lightsworns could play, you didn't have to do a Chaos variant like I try to play now with Chaos Drags, which is relatively the same, but they would just play Lightsworns with 4 Dragon Rulers in it, and then 3 Eclipse Wyverns, and then some people played this, some people didn't, but I did too. It would play 1 Light Ray Diablos and a Red Eyes Metal Dragon just to have some more dragons in there for them to banish just for other plays if you already wore out your Eclipse Wyverns, but that's another topic. And the deck was overpowered. It was OP. Even after everything they went to, just having 4 Dragon Rulers, this deck was insane. And it was just too much power. And when I thought they were gonna just ban Eclipse Wyverns, because that would have solved a lot of the problem right there, they took away the Dragon Rulers. Now I don't know if that was the reason why it was banned, but that seems like the most logical reason from what I remember. If anybody else has a reason to post why. I know another reason is too, because having even just the Dragon Rulers and individual decks made them too powerful, but that's where I'm disagreeing, and that's what I want to talk about right now. So after that long rant of an intro, while Dragon Rulers were very strong cards, and if they ever came back, they would definitely have to do something with the Eclipse Wyvern, because there's no way those could come back with Light Sworns. They'd have to get rid of Eclipse Wyverns, and even maybe Light Ray Diablos or Red Eyes Metal Dragon. You'd have to ban a lot of cards, so is it going to happen? Probably not. Though, they're not overpowered as much as you think. Throwing these Dragon Rulers, while it is very effective because they can use cards of their archetype, so if it doesn't have to be necessarily a dragon, it can be an earth monster or something like that, or a wind or whatever. That's why I used to play Card Trooper and then Debris Dragon in my old Lightsworn Ruler deck, because it would actually flow well with other cards played in it. And that is what made them somewhat be banned too, because decks could utilize these cards without having really any flow with a dragon deck. If they were able to stop it from being abused, these cards could come back, because even with decks right now, a lot of the major decks are not really can utilize these Dragon Rulers to a degree of they could before. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some that can. Anything that plays in Earth, Wind, or Water, or Fire, which covers a lot of the bases, can play Dragon Rulers. But a lot of things too now is, even though a Dragon Ruler is powerful, one, people are playing Pot of Desires, which already banishes a bunch of cards as it is, and a lot of cards rely on rejuvenation of using the deck. If you're banishing cards left and right just to utilize one Dragon Ruler card, it's not really something that a player wants to do with their deck, because they're not really gaining or benefiting anything by just banishing their graveyard away. Now granted, Dragon Ruler itself is a strong card, but it's been some time now, and just having this beater that you can special summon without the other Dragon Rulers to make big exceeds is not that super powerful. Yeah, you can sync up with it or something like that, but it's a level 7, so you're going to make a level 9, and you don't have enough materials to make with that level 9 to make Trish. And yes, you can make bigger ones, but all in all, it's basically just a beater you can special summon really easily by banishing cards. And now they do have secondary effects, but that's basically what made the deck powerful before, is because you could just keep rejuvenating these beaters. But in this game, rejuvenating a beater is not as good as it used to be. Having these big, strong monsters is not as overpowering or overwhelming anymore, especially since they won't be able to be utilized with their other cards if somehow they were able to prevent that to some sort of degree. Now, I'm not saying they could not be abused. They definitely could be. But the abuse is definitely tolerable with decks we have now. When Dragon Rulers came out, the speed was unheard of. The power that deck had was just on a completely different level. And I know many may argue that maybe there has been decks that have come out since, but to me, in my eyes, it was devastating. I mean, the decks we had then, and then Dragon Rulers came out. I mean, I remember watching people playtest them, and then myself, before they were even a thing, coming out, and it was just like, holy shit, like, this deck is powerful. Little story, my friend and I, we got together and we bought a whole case of that box that came with the Dragon Ruler cards. And I had a really good deck. Was it the best deck? No, but it was a really decent deck that I played, and I've beat him a good amount of times with his meta decks with it. And I mean, he's beaten me too, but I was doing well with it. He built this crappy, and crappy, I mean, it was really good, but like crappy as in he just took some Dragon Ruler cards from that booster box from the case we got. We sold a lot of the cards too, but that case we got, he took those cards and just owned me. And it wasn't even like a consensus or really like thought out deck. The deck was that good that he could just own me. I think he played strictly just cards that came in the deck. It was a bunch of other nonchalant cards in the thing, and he built this quick Dragon Ruler deck playing all the dragons, and it just owned. It was devastating. It was overpowering. But now if they came back, it would only be one of each dragon, so there'd be 4, and we have decks that are a lot more powerful and a lot more speedy that could outrun a deck that either utilizes all the dragons or just utilizes one in the deck for extra support to give extra oomph. Now, some may argue that that might make some decks more powerful, and then it would maybe even make the decks that aren't that good even, so it'd even it out. But I believe that if Konami really wanted to, and if they wanted to like ban Eclipse Wyvern or something like that, so it couldn't be utilized that well to abuse Dragon Rollers, it could be a really, I mean, Lightstorm Rollers, it could be a very good utilized deck, and it wouldn't be overpowered compared to what we have. I feel like it wouldn't be a big impact in my eyes. Now, if they ever came back full force, you better run and cover, because that shit is going to be on fire. Its villages will be burned, because that deck was too powerful. But at 4, if you just brought the 4 dragons back right now, and did something else with the Light Swarm Rulers, I feel like the deck could definitely come back and be fine. But let me know down below, what do you think? Could Dragon Rulers come back one day? Not to their full form, but just each main dragon, one of each. Let me know down below what your thoughts are, and I'll see you later, guys. Peace.
Damn.